With that, then, Ms. Kyler Green, would you please begin the announcements?
Yes, Shauna, good morning. Emily Kyler Green, attorney for the department.
Jimmy Dresden Mitchell, investigation supervisor.
Jennifer Simmons, family-based caseworker.
Regina Cecil, Child Protective Services investigator.
Alana Pearsall, attorney for the mother, Martha Juarez. Martha, will you please tell the judge your name?
My name is Juarez.
Rochelle Acevedo for the grandmother, Brittany Jameson. Ms. Jameson, can you please announce for the court?
Brittany Jameson.
Charles Weatherby, attorney for the child. He not really old enough to announce, but he's with us.
I'll take judicial notice. Thank you. We're here for a court-ordered services case. How do the parties wish to proceed?
Your Honor, the department's ready. It's my understanding that there's an agreement as to services that both mother and grandmother will partake in. This is the TFF case. I don't know, based on the conversations though that the attorneys have with their clients, if that's still accurate.
That's accurate, Your Honor.
All right, so this is a TFF case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and go over the terms and conditions of the agreement, please.
And if Ms. Cecil, if there's any, she's the investigator who's working on the case, who's been working with the parents or with the mother and the grandmother, excuse me. If there's anything that I miss, I'll just request that she can fill it in. But we've requested for parenting skills to be provided for both Martha Juarez and Brittany Jameson, drug counseling for Martha Juarez, mental health, and skills for adulthood.
Okay, so drug counseling, mental health, and what?
Skills for adulthood.
And that's for Martha Juarez?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
And then for Brittany Jameson, we've requested for parenting skills to be engaged in for her as well, seeing that her child and the grandchild live in her home.
That is correct.
Is that the entire list of services?
It is for now, Your Honor. If there's any recommendations beyond that, based on the drug counseling and the mental health assessment and the skills counseling, we'll request that those recommendations be heeded. Additionally, Your Honor, we had been working with the mom and the grandmother to get them to sign the waiver of service, but I think there was an issue with them pulling it up and being able to do it. So we've requested, or we will be requesting right now, that you take judicial notice of their appearance.
Ms. Pearsall, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Juarez understands what the department would like her to do, and she's willing to abide by all the services, and she's eagerly awaiting her completion of them.
Okay. Ms. Acevedo?
Ms. Jameson is in agreement with that, Judge.
Mr. Weatherby?
That's an agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. Then, Ms. Juarez, you heard the terms and conditions of the agreement stated by Ms. Kyler Green.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jameson, you heard the terms and conditions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Both have had an opportunity to discuss those with your attorneys.
Yes, Your Honor.
You both understand what's expected of you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You both understand that in order for this case to be concluded successfully, you need to engage in those services and complete them, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Were either of you forced in any way to agree to this?
No, sir. No, sir.
Is your agreement voluntary?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you asking the court to approve the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Simmons, you believe this agreement, or Ms. Cecil, excuse me, you believe this agreement is in the best interest of the child?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And do you believe that this agreement will adequately address the concerns that got the department involved with his family?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe it will.
All right. Anything further from anyone else?
No.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Court will find that by agreeing to the terms and conditions as stated on the record this morning, that both Ms. Martha Juarez and Ms. Brittany Jameson have entered a general appearance for all intents and purposes in this suit. The court will relieve the Department of Family and Protective Services from the obligation of having to serve them. So the court finds that all parties are here today and have agreed that for the purposes of the Texas Family's First case, that Ms. Juarez will engage in drug counseling, mental health, and skills for adulthood, and that Ms. Jameson will agree to parenting skills and participate in that. Plus, both Ms. Juarez and Ms. Jameson will comply with any recommendations based off of those services. Court finds that this agreement is in the best interest of the child. Court finds that, let me ask this question, is there any objection to stipulating to the reasonable efforts made in the affidavit?
No, Your
All right.
Your Honor.
Yes.
In addition, and I think this got lost in translation, parenting is also to be provided for Martha Juarez.
Okay. So ordered. Court
Thank
finds
you,
that
Miss Keeler Green.
I'm sorry?
I was thanking her. I was going to say
Okay.
the same thing. So I was thanking her. Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Court finds there's sufficient evidence to satisfy a person of ordinary prudence and caution that abuse or neglect occurred, or there's a substantial risk of abuse or neglect or continuing danger to the child's physical health or safety caused by an act or failure to act of the parent or managing conservator. Family preservation services are necessary to ensure the child's physical health and safety, and family preservation services are appropriate based on the child's safety risk assessment and the child's family assessment. Court orders that the order include and identify and require specific services narrowly tailored to address the factors that make the child a candidate for foster care, and include whether the services to be provided for the family are appropriate to address the factors that place the child at risk of removal. Parties are to hold the status meeting, or sorry, the preservation plan meeting and get that to the court. And then we'll hold a status hearing on February the 9th, 2024 at 11:30. That's February the 9th, 2024 at 11:30. Court will hold that hearing to review the status of both Ms. Jameson and Ms. Juarez, as well as the child, Brentley, and just talk about how you're doing in your services and what's working and what's not working. I want to make sure that you both understand this is the least restrictive, least invasive method of addressing concerns that we have available to us, Ms. Jameson and Ms. Juarez. You're ordered to do these services. So, if you don't, you're violating a court order. But worse is that if you don't do these things and you don't engage, there's another level we can go to, and it's a much more invasive, much more unpleasant level. Nobody here wants to see that happen. Okay, do you both understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You got to look what looks like a very beautiful baby boy there we need to take care of, and this is the most amicable way we can do it, the most constructive way we can do it. So let's go to work. We'll come back on February the 9th and we'll see how we're doing. Ms. Kyler Green, is there anything I failed to address?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate you all coming to an agreement, and we'll see you February 9th, 2024 at 11:30. And if nothing further, all parties are excused.
Thank you.
Ms. Fuller and Ms. Harris, are either of you expecting your clients this morning?
Your Honor, I haven't had any contact with my client. I'm going to be announcing not ready.
Your Honor, my client knows about the hearing, but he does work during the week in the oil field, so he says he will join if he's able to. If not, I can proceed.
With that, Ms. Kyler Green, would you please begin the announcements?
Yes, Your Honor, good morning. Emily Kyler Green, attorney for the department.
Lorna Gentryman, permanency specialist with Belong.
Christy Cannot, permanency supervisor with Belong.
Deborah Fuller, attorney for the mother, Carrie Reyes. I'm announcing not ready, Your Honor. She is not present.
Jennifer Harris, attorney for the respondent father. He is not present, but I am ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Rochelle Savello, Edline for the baby.
Jill Roden, Tri-County CASA.
Stephanie Lavelle, CASA volunteer.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Gentryman, Caden at this time is.
Your Honor, are going to rule on my not ready?
Yes, I wrote it in my notes and I didn't say it. I'm overruling you're not ready. Mother was served October 17th. She's aware of this suit, and court takes judicial notice of the report that says that she's not cooperating. So I've got to move forward. So I'm overruling that. Getting back into the report now, Ms. Gentryman, that Caden is 2 months old and is in a Kerr County foster home.
Yes, sir.
Is that placement safe and appropriate, meeting his needs?
Yes, sir.
Is it in his best interest to continue there?
Yes, sir, it is.
When you created your family plans of service, did you create a permanency goal at the same time?
Yes, sir, I did.
What is that permanency goal?
The first permanency goal would be reunification. The second permanency goal would have been adoption.
Here's Caden, is up to date on his medical, vision is normal, and he's not old enough for a dental, correct?
Correct, sir.
All right, and he's pretty much too young for everything else too.
Correct, sir.
Right.
She's up to date on his doctor's appointments, though. His next one's December 5th.
Okay. Denied Indian child status.
Yes, sir. I do have to say he was in the hospital over one weekend overnight. He had not been eating well, and when she took him in on a Friday afternoon, he ended up having that pyloric stenosis, where it was a hardening of the stomach lining. They did an overnight surgery, and he was home on a Sunday, and he's recovered from that.
Does it appear that he has any visible developmental concerns?
No, he does not.
Okay. They will be evaluated.
Yes, he did have a little bit of the shakes when he was brought home, but he seems to be outgrowing that, and he's doing fine with that. She's watches over that, and he's doing really well.
Created family plans of service for both parents, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have they been filed?
Yes, sir.
Did the parents participate in the creation of those plans?
No, sir.
Did you give them an opportunity to participate?
Yes, sir.
Are they staying in touch with you?
No, sir.
Are they cooperating?
No, sir.
Did you send them a copy of the family plan of service that you created to their last known address?
No, sir, but I did talk with my attorney, and I will be sending that, to Miss Reyes. I'll be sending it to her, the address that I have. I don't know if she really lives there or not. I've never seen her, but I will send it to the last known address that I do have.
Did either of them provide you with any email information?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have their phone numbers?
Miss Reyes doesn't have a phone number. Mr. Coronado has a phone number. He doesn't give me an address of where he resides. I was talking to Ms. Green, our attorney, and possibly I could give him, try to send it through a text.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out.
Okay. Was there something else that you were trying to say when I was questioning you?
No, sir, I'm apologize. I was just saying I'm going to try to send a document through a text message, maybe.
Okay. Is it your understanding that mom, you said she doesn't have a phone, is she still unemployed?
That's what I understand. Yes, sir.
So neither parent since October 17th has visited with a child?
Correct. We had one on the 11th and they no-showed. The visit was scheduled on the 11th. Prior to that, they didn't show up for that one either. And we had another visit scheduled since then, and they've no-showed for the parent-child visits we set up.
Have either of them indicated their desire to work services and have their child returned to them?
No. When I do talk to, I have talked to Mr. Coronado on the phone, or through a text twice and on the phone once, but he doesn't ask about him. But no, he's more interested in, I don't know. No.
Okay. What services are on the family plan of service for the parents?
Parenting, therapy, drug testing, and those recommendations. I'm sorry, did I say therapy? And stable housing, a job, employment, being able to provide for the child, counseling, MHMR, and assessment recommendations. I did it based off of the investigation, their prior history.
You believe those services are reasonable and necessary?
Yes, I do.
You believe that they're in the best interest of the child?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you believe that they're narrowly tailored to address the concerns that brought the child into the care of the department?
Yes, sir, I do.
You asking the court to make those family plans and service orders of the court?
Yes, sir, I am.
Ms. Kyler Green, do you have any questions for Ms. Gentryman?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Gentryman, at the last hearing, it was ordered for an expedited home study to be completed on the paternal grandparents. Was that completed?
Yes, it was.
And were the results positive?
Yes, they were.
What is the Department and Belongs hesitation or hesitation in having the child be placed with any paternal family?
Well, we don't know that he's the father. It's alleged. So we are hesitant with placing with anybody on the paternal side of the family at this point.
Okay. And the father indicated that he wanted a paternity test?
Yes, he is the one who asked for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. The DNA test is in the works. Is that correct? It's been set up, but it hasn't been completed yet.
That's correct.
You also indicated the child had signs of shaking. Can you be a little bit more specific about what you mean?
He had a little bit of withdrawals by the time he was released from the hospital and went to the foster home. He wasn't put on any medications, but he still had a little bit of the withdrawals from the drugs that were in his system.
Okay, thank you. And when you said that in order to narrowly tailor your family plan of service, you reviewed the affidavit and the prior history for both parents. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And And you've also attempted to visit in your efforts to see the mother and to communicate with the mother. You've also visited the last known address. Is that right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And any signs of her presence there?
Never. No.
Okay. And in order to attempt to get her to have access to her family plan of service, what efforts are you going to make to make sure she has a copy of that?
I can mail it to the address that I have, and I can also drop off a copy at that address too.
Okay. And have you also attempted to be in communications with any maternal side of the family?
That is the maternal side, but every time I go there, there's a different person. There's a different adult that answers the door. I leave my business card there, though, every time I go.
Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Fuller.
Ms. Gentryman, in regards to the address, what address are you going to for my client? And how many times have you attempted to go over there?
5.
Okay. And do you feel that she understands the services? Have you talked to her at all?
I talked with her once, and that was only because when I went, there was a cousin there, and the cousin called her. And that was when she confirmed that she would be at the FGC. So
she called her, so she has a phone? I thought you said she didn't have a phone. Does she have a phone?
That's what the maternal great grandmother told me, that she doesn't have a phone.
Okay.
So I get different messages from different relatives when I go.
And she has asked for placement with the alleged paternal grandmother as well, correct?
Yes, she has.
So it's really just a matter of getting the DNA testing because there's an approved home study.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And you think you've made all efforts to try to engage her in the services and get her involved in her plan of service?
I have, and I'll keep trying.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Harris.
Is the baby in a foster home?
Yes, he is.
And does the alleged father, my client, also want the baby placed with his mother?
That's my understanding.
And have you had a chance to speak to the grandmother?
Yes, actually, she calls me about every week, checking on the baby.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was losing power. And has she indicated that she's willing to take the baby regardless?
Yes.
Has she raised other half siblings?
Yes, she has.
Are any of them still there?
Yes, they are.
And have any other possible relatives been identified or located?
Yes, we have other maternal relatives that we could look at if Mr. Coronado is not the father.
And have any of them reached out and asked to be considered?
Well, they did reach out and agree to it during the investigation, but we already have this home study has been approved, so we're just waiting on the DNA.
And have they followed up with you at all?
No.
So would the alleged paternal grandmother be considered kinship placement?
No.
Despite both the mom and the father knowing her and recommending her for placement, she wouldn't be considered a kinship placement?
They haven't met the baby, and especially since we have other maternal relatives that had already voiced that they agreed to be placement, we'd have to look at them first. We would look at blood relatives first.
And has the DNA testing been scheduled?
It hasn't been scheduled yet. The DNA is at the AG's office.
Are there concerns about whether Mr. Coronado will attend for the DNA testing?
Yes.
And so what are the alternatives to that?
It's possible we could get a male, his son, to go in that will be looked at.
And how long is this process going to take?
I do not know that.
If Mr. Coronado were to sign an acknowledgement of paternity, would the department consider placing the child with his mother immediately?
No legalities on that either. I'd have to refer that to my attorney.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
Acevedo.
And I apologize, Ms. Gentryman. Was the DNA set up for him?
It hasn't been set up yet. We just got the signed order. I believe it's at the AG's office for them to order it now. I think
Okay,
it
and
goes through the AG's office for them to order the blood testing. Yeah.
Okay. Will you get that date or will Dad get that date?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And if you know, do you have any idea on the timeline for this?
No.
In the interim, are you asking Dad to work services? Or are you
Yes.
waiting?
Well, I wish he would, yes.
Has he given an opinion on whether he wants to work services without having the DNA back?
No, he hasn't said anything about working any services at all.
Okay. And as far as Caden's doing, he's doing well in the home that he's in right now?
Yes, he is.
Okay. And you said he was in, it was an emergency surgery, correct?
Yes, it was.
Do you know if he was put under?
I do not know.
And he was there for 2 days?
Yes.
And he's recovering well?
Yes.
Do you know if he was released with any either recommendations or follow-ups?
I believe he had a follow-up. He went in on the evening of the 17th and he was out by midday on the 19th.
Okay. And is he seeing his pediatrician after?
Yes.
I'll pass it.
Just one question, Your Honor. Ms. Gentryman, do you have any, in your communications with the family members, either maternal or potentially paternal, do you have any doubts as to whether or not the alleged father is actually the father?
I have been told by the maternal family that he is not the father.
Okay. And is that why there's hesitation in placing this child with paternal relatives?
Yes, that and the father saying that he wanted a DNA. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Any other recross?
I have one question, Your Honor. Ms. Gentryman, in regards to the maternal relatives, have they provided a name of someone they think is the father?
No.
And the maternal relatives have my client's other children?
Maternal relatives do have their clients' other children, yes.
But they weren't, but the family that has the siblings wasn't able to take the baby?
Correct.
Okay. But you have other maternal relatives?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any other questions? Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Acevedo, what are your thoughts?
Judge, as far as Caden, he's doing very well, and he's in an incredible foster home. As far as the surgery, I mean, as far as developmentally, Judge, he's doing perfectly. I think that the surgery kind of took everyone by surprise, but it's one of those things that was just brought up. It, from what I understand, it presents itself as like acid reflux, and I think that's what they were, I guess, monitoring as, until they realized it was something obviously more serious, and they caught it in time, thankfully. But as far as the home, he's doing really well. I have had the opportunity to speak to the paternal grandmother. I talked to her at the beginning of the case. I know that we have this positive home study. I'm hoping that we can do this DNA. I'm hoping that Dad will comply with that. I unfortunately, I don't at this point have a lot of high hopes with the parents' participation, and that's sad. But as far as the family, Judge, I understand what maternal side is saying, as far as paternal side, I think that there is an older sibling who either was at the hospital or met the baby at some point, and they believe that dad is the father. So I think the DNA is obviously required. I have talked to maternal grandmother. I understand that we're just in this quandary, Judge, but she, and I've let everybody know at the FGC, she's open to placement regardless of that DNA. I've talked to her at length, and as Ms. Gentry-Mann said, I mean, she is very vocal and continues to maintain that contact. I believe that they have a pretty good support system. I know that she's a little bit older, but I also understand the concerns. If this is not dad, then what do we do at that point? So I understand that there's just going to be this delay with the DNA. So I'm hoping that I don't know that we can expedite that. I think we're just in that process, Judge.
Ms. Lavelle, I read your report. Anything else from CASA this morning?
CASA has visited Caden in his foster home. He appears to be doing really well and he's in good care there. Our recommendation is that he remain in his current placement and that his medical conditions continue to be monitored.
Thank you. For the purposes of the status hearing, the court finds that there could be child heritage in this suit. Court finds that the child is in a foster placement in Perk County that's safe and appropriate, meeting his needs and his best interest to continue. Court finds the permanency goal of family reunification at this point in time is appropriate and the best interest of the child. Court finds that Caden is up to date on his medical and his vision check. He's too young for a dental. There are no other concerns at the moment, and the concerns that existed have been addressed. I do want to make sure he gets evaluated. I know it's going to be done, but I want to make sure that happens. So let's just put it in the order for him to have that evaluation as soon as possible. Court finds the Belong has created family plans of service for both parents. That Belong gave the parents the opportunity to participate in the creation of those plans. The parents did not participate. Court finds that the plans are in the best interest of the child and are narrowly tailored to address the concerns that brought the child into the care of Belong. Court finds that it's in the best interest of the child to make those family plans orders of the court at this time. Court finds that neither parent is remaining in touch with Belong and or cooperating in this case at this time. Court finds that the parents have not had a visit with the child since October 17th, 2023. Court finds that the paternal grandparents have passed, or excuse me, the alleged paternal grandparents have passed a home study. However, no paternity test has been returned confirming they are the grandparents. And so at this time, the court declines to consider them for placement. I'm going to order Belong to double check that the paternity test has been expedited as much as possible. And we'll be back for our initial permanency hearing March the 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. It's March the 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Court will circulate a pretrial scheduling order as well as a discovery control plan. Please review those to get dates and times of discovery and dates and times of future hearings, as well as any discovery rules, and sign as appropriate. The parents, yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done.
No, it's okay. I have to admonish the parents. The state of Texas gives parents in CPS cases 12 months to demonstrate you can provide a safe, stable, balanced, and drug-free home for your child. In the event you cannot do so, the rights to your child are subject to restriction and or termination. Yes, Ms. Collier.
So I'd like to request that you make a finding that the child was still suffering from withdrawals after he was in placement. Those seem to be becoming less, if not gone already, but just a request of finding that the shaking that the child experienced was a sign of withdrawals.
I would ask that finding not be made, Your Honor. Ms. Gentryman is not a medical expert. There's been no proof by a medical expert that was tied to any kind of drug use, whether the shaking was from drug use. I mean, he just had surgery. And I would ask that you not make that finding because there's been no credible evidence provided to the court today to make that finding.
Additionally, Your Honor, the testimony that Ms. Gentryman gave regarding the tremors, we don't know if that is from personal knowledge or reports from the foster family.
Your Honor, there were no objections made at the time of her testimony.
I'll make a finding that Miss Gentryman testified that the child was suffering from the shakes. People can draw their own conclusions from that. That's what she testified to. Ms. Carla Green's correct. There was no objection at the time. So court will find that throughout the testimony of this hearing, that evidence was presented. All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you all for your
No
time and your
objection,
service.
Your
Nothing
Honor.
further, all parties are
objection.
excused. All right. With that, Ms. Carla Green, would you please begin the announcements?
Yes, Your Honor, good morning. Emily Kyler Green, attorney for the department.
Catherine Shelf, permanency specialist for Belong.
Christy Knott, permanency supervisor with Belong.
Alana Pearsall, attorney for intervener, Ms. Peralta. Ms. Peralta, will you please state your name?
Janelle Peralta.
And Your Honor, I'm going to invoke the rule.
Deborah Fuller, attorney and guardian ad litem for the child.
Jennifer Harris, attorney for alleged father. He's not present. I'm announcing not ready, Your Honor.
You can't see everybody.
Jill Roden, Tri-County CASA.
Tristan Romley, Casa.
Rochelle Acevedo for Marisol Reyes.
Any luck?
Judge, I just called her, and it's actually, it sounds like her phone is dead. What I can tell the court is I met with her at length just yesterday. I talked to her all night. So she obviously knows, but I think she's having obviously like technical difficulties. I hate to do this to the court. I know I need her here, and I know that she was planning on being here, Judge.
Well, I mean, it's your hearing, it's your motion. So, you know, if we need, you're just not going to get the relief that you're looking for today if she's not here. You need her.
I know, Judge.
So it's more of an inconvenience for you than it is for me. I was planning to be here this morning anyway. So, why don't we give her, I was going to give the parties until noon on this, and that's going to be a hard stop at noon. So let's give it 10 minutes and see if she shows up.
I'll keep trying. Thank you.
All right. If she doesn't, then we'll have to reset it. So it's 10:15. We'll wait till 10:25. All right, Miss Acevedo, any luck?
Judge, she says she's downloading the Zoom right now.
Okay. I'll give her a couple more minutes and then we're going to have to call it.
Thank you, Judge.
I just let my attorney know my camera is still not cooperating with me. It's all cracked.
Need you to announce, please.
Marisol Reyes.
We need to see her, Your Honor.
Well, that's what I'm about to get on the record. Is there any objection to Ms. Reyes participating in this hearing without any video?
Yes,
I
Your Honor,
object to
there
that,
is.
yeah.
Miss, and I agree, Miss Acevedo. I need to be able to see her. If she can't get a camera working, then we're going to have to reset this and we can be in person.
I understand, Judge. I've asked her. I don't think that she has one that's working right now.
Okay, well, if she can't get on a device where we can all see her participating in this hearing, because it's her hearing, it's her motion, we need to be able to see her, then we're gonna have to get an in-person setting for it.
Yes,
It
Judge.
looks
Do you
like
want to
she's
do that?
having- It looks like she's having connectivity issues as it is.
Judge, do you want to get that date now, or do you want me to confer with the parties? Do you want me to get dates from Sharon and confer?
I think it's best if we get dates and confer and figure out, because it's with us doing in person, we've got to make sure that we're coordinating all of our other dates the same week. So I don't think it's something we can set up right now.
Okay.
So, okay, then court is going to recess this hearing on Ms. Acevedo's motion for a reset to an in-person date, and we'll resume it at that time. All right, thank you. All parties are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.